Before I start, I just want to reiterate that these are my opinions. And as such, I'm not telling you, I'm not directing you, I'm not instructing you, I'm not giving you any advice. It's just my opinion. I mention that because some people occasionally say, oh, Richard, you know, you've got to be very careful because you're influencing people. And I've had letters from people saying, oh, Richard, you're spouting rubbish. It's all lies. And at the end of the day, I feel that people can mostly make up their own mind. They can take on board what they hear from any of these people on YouTube and on the other platforms and make a decision for themselves. People on these platforms just express themselves. So having got that out of the way, I do want to just say thank you very much to everybody who's emailed me. I am snowed under, as you know, and I cannot just get to all of the emails. I'd have to spend the whole day doing nothing else but answering emails behind a screen that's radiating the EMFs and all of that. And I don't want to blow my brains out. Not that way anyway, or anyway, to be honest with you. So if I don't get to your emails, thank you for sending them, but you just have to either wait and see if I do, and if I don't, then I do try to read them as best I can. And thank you very much to all those lovely people who have sent in some wonderful donations. It does really help keep the channel going. Anyway, having got all that out the way, I have had a number of emails from people who've sent me either pictures of their letters from their GP or told me about texts that they get from their health centre, continually putting the pressure on, I would say, to get further medical interventions. Now, there's the medical intervention of the recent times that we've heard about, in which there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I don't know how many iterations of it that you're supposed to inject into your body, and somehow or other, all of those chemicals swimming around, doing stuff inside you, supposed to help you from all those dreadful, nasty things that life just dishes up. You know, goodness sake, whatever you do, don't go outside into the fresh air and get vitamin D from the sunshine. It does seem that they don't want you to do that. Or expose yourself to, I don't know, the lovely nature of the outdoors. But I'm being silly there. But people are being pressured to go and get these things. Now, it's not for me, as I say, to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but some people are a bit baffled by the extent that this pressure is still going on. It may be for, I don't know, flu or pneumonia or that thing that came around in 2020, whatever it is. And the decision is for you, but I do want to remind you that we do have an immune system, that man has been around for hundreds of thousands of years and maybe even longer, because some of the ancient civilizations seem to have been here, if you believe all the stuff that's coming out and the revelations that are there, that we've been here a lot longer. And somehow, despite all of what's going around, we've managed to survive. You would think that actually, if it wasn't for pharmaceuticals, we would be dead and buried long ago. So our natural immune system is very good, but the pressure is on. My lovely girlfriend, the lovely Julia, has had the same sort of thing when she signed on with her GP and with her children and what have you. They automatically put her on a noticing system which she gets notified all the time. Oh, would you like to come in for this, or would you like to come in for that? It's especially aimed at the children. And she said to them, no, I don't particularly want to have any of this, as I've begun to become aware that sometimes these medical interventions are not actually what I want. And it's a personal decision. And yet she still gets these messages, and then they automatically book her. And then she says, well, I've told you I don't want them. And they said, well, we can't take you off the system, which does seem a bit mad. But then when the day comes and she says, oh, yes, I can see that you booked me and I'll cancel that. Thanks very much. And then they put her down as a not attending. And she said, well, listen, I'm not attending because I've told you I don't want these things. Will this not attending little notice that you put against my name, will that be detrimental to me in the future when I do want something? And the receptionist have said, oh, no, I'm sure it'll be fine. But you never know, do you? You don't know, because people are very quick to sort of put you in one camp and in another camp. Anyway, I just wanted to alert you really that this pressure is going on, but remember, you can boost your immune system by doing all sorts of good things, like not eating the highly processed foods that you get from the supermarkets. It may look lovely and fresh, that wonderful vegetables and the fruit that's out there, But actually, of course, we do know that they cover it and spray it, or they add extra things so that it's got this longer shelf life. And the way it's grown on big monocropped culture stuff means that often it's sprayed with all sorts of poisons and things to get rid of the insects. But what does that do to us? That's the big question. Whereas, of course, if you're growing your own, you've got your own allotment, you're using your back garden, perhaps you have a veg box scheme, or you know other people are doing it organically or is more healthily, or you're going to farm shops or to the markets where farm operators are there, then obviously that kind of food is going to be a lot more healthy and it's going to do some good. You may need, especially coming into the winter as we are in the UK, you may need some supplements, you know, some vitamin D supplements. Make sure you get good quality ones, because some of the cheaper ones may also have some extra bits and bobs which may not be good for us. And that's what Julia and I tend to do as much as we can. And if we're out travelling, we do make it a habit to sort of source out a farm shop and then visit them and see whether it's a good quality farm shop that's actually got animals on the land and it's not just buying in stuff from who knows where and then presenting it and just putting the prices up. And we do have a few regular places that we go to which are very useful. Also, another thing, of course, just for peace of mind and our spirituality, we've started to slow down. And that's why I mentioned at the front about the emails. You could spend a lot of time in front of, well, I do, LED lights, the blue screen, the phone and all of that. I don't get to all those messages all the time because I'm trying to, A, keep myself healthy, but also contact my own higher self, if you like, my spirituality, my subconscious mind, God, you might call it, the source, by slowing down and spending time. In fact, some of the things that Julia and I do, we would just purposely sit in front of our fire. We have a wood-burning stove, sit in front watching those flames. We don't watch the television, and I can tell you the flames in the fire are a lot more invigorating, healthy, the warmth from a real primeval fire burning in front of you, wistful stories. We often sit in silence or we talk and discuss all sorts of subjects rather than letting somebody else through a television program our ideas. So we don't have to see the adverts that are telling us how we should live and what trinkets we ought to buy and how our lifestyle should be, that we've got to earn more money to buy this stuff which becomes obsolete next year and then you've got to upgrade and get something else. So we've actually found this is so much nicer just to sit together, sharing each other's company, maybe having a cup of hot beverage of some description, maybe just pure water with a bit of sea salt in it. And we just sit there and we enjoy ourselves calming down and contacting our environment in a way, or we'll go for a walk in the countryside, which is another favourite of us. And at this time of year, when the sun is actually shining and the sunlight is on you and you see the dappled light coming through the trees, and as the autumn is coming, and well, we're in the middle of the autumn, the leaves are falling around and you hear nearly the silence. There's always the distance of the road, of course, because it's very difficult in this country to get completely away from that droning noise of the road. But to be at one with nature is so important and so vital with us. And then we come back and then we can face the rest of the world greatly invigorated. And I urge people at this time of year particularly, if you want to, the decision is yours, of course, is to try and get out, breathe some of that fresh air, as fresh as it is, and get out from those four walls, because sometimes the tendency is to think that because it's cold that we're just going to stay inside and breathe the same old stale air. So getting outside, spending a bit of time just contemplating, thinking about things, getting in touch with our mind instead of racing it forward and constantly being influenced by the screens. Now, the irony, of course, is I'm sitting here, you're watching me on some blue light device radiating at you. So unplug it for a bit and never mind watching me or any of the others. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, of course. And just get out there and have a bit of you time. It's so important you have you time so you can work out what's best for you, because it is amazing the journey that I've had over the last 365 days talking about what's going on in the world out and about has taught me actually there's so many different alternatives than perhaps the one that's being prescribed by us, whether it be text messages to go to your health centre and have a pharmaceutical, or whether it is to sort of sit there and watch the telly and lose yourself in somebody else's world. This is your world. This is my world. We've got to embrace it and enjoy it. And that's what I intend to do over the winter months. Much more. Embrace this wonderful world before they, whoever they are, want to take it away from us.